Alright you guys, well today I have for you this 2023 Chevy Suburban. We'll take you around this truck, show you what it's all about. Really love that front end styling to it. Just love what they did with this SUV for that redesign. You do have the 20-inch wheels on this. You can get a few different wheel options. You can step all the way up to 22s if you want, but this just has the 20-inch wheels. Going around the back here, I love these quad exhaust tips you get, and as you can see, it is a Premier model. That's one step below the highest trim, the High Country. We'll pop the tailgate really quick, and it's pretty good actually back here. It's a little bit high up in terms of the floor, but you know, not too bad. And this is behind the third row. Most SUVs with third rows will come up to like here or something, but you know, even behind the third row you still get plenty of room. You can also electronically fold the third row down if you just hold these just like that. Do the same for the other side. Gives you an idea of all the space you get. Again, it's a little bit high up in the floor, but still pretty good. And you can also fold the second row down with these buttons. They just fold right down like that. You can even press this a second time and both seats will raise forward. That's a pretty nice feature, honestly. You can't fold them back up with these buttons, but you can fold the third row back up just like that. And of course, we'll try out that third row in a minute here. You don't get much under this compartment, just a little tray. Doesn't look like it's removable, but your spare tire is underneath the car. But we'll close up the trunk here. And there's actually another cool feature of this Suburban that a lot of SUVs don't have anymore. If you double tap this button, it'll actually lift the rear glass up, which is pretty cool. You can see your little rear windshield wiper back there, but we'll just close that up. All right, let's hop into the back seat. So we'll put these seats back up here. Pretty easy to do. Slide them back a little bit. All right, and as you'd expect, very roomy back here. Plenty of space, can't complain at all. You do get heated rear seats back here, 2 USB-C ports and a household outlet. But we'll try out this third row here. Just get back here, and you know, third row also nice and roomy. One of the few SUVs that has like a totally usable third row, even for adults. You get cup holders, again, USB-C ports back here, which is nice to have. So yeah, pretty nice back here. We'll hop out of here. All right, and we'll show you guys under the hood real quick. All right, so this is the 5.3 liter V8. You can get a few engine options in here. You can also get a 3 liter Duramax diesel or a 6.2 liter V8. But this is just the 5.3. This is kind of like the volume engine option. Makes 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. It is paired to a 10-speed automatic. Nothing really interesting under here. There's no like fancy engine label or anything, like no label of any kind on the engine. It's not like a look at me kind of engine, but that's okay. Most people buying this car don't really care that much about the engine, but we'll close up the hood here. And let's hop inside. It does have the smart key entry, but it's a button you push. So it doesn't have like a touch sensor on it. So a little bit of a drawback, but not a big deal. We'll start it up. It does have this cool graphic on the screens. That's pretty interesting. All right, and this interior is a nice place to be. I like these screens right here. You get this full digital screen in the gauge cluster, and also like this nice high quality screen in the center. Has wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It does have Google Maps integration, but you need a subscription to use that. So kind of a drawback there. You're probably better off just using Apple CarPlay. It's the same difference. You do have a little shortcut home button down here, which is pretty nice. Nothing crazy in this system, just like, you know, your music, Apple CarPlay, some of those Google features. That's about it. If you click on cameras, it just brings you to your backup camera. That's it. You also get this interesting shifter. So you toggle up for reverse. Again, there's your backup camera. It looks pretty good. It's pretty high resolution. Button for neutral, and then click back for drive, but we'll put it in park. Very simple climate controls. You also get heated and cooled seats down here. Nothing really fancy with this. Just kind of looks like a typical GM a little bit. On the steering wheel, you can control your center screen. You can also change your gauge layout. So you have classic, which it's on now. But if I go to progressive, it takes a little bit to load each one, but as you can see, it kind of puts the speedometer and tachometer kind of more crunched in there. You have digital, and that kind of takes away the gauges, but I think we'll just go back to classic for right now. You have drive modes, so you have normal, sport, snow and ice, and tow haul. Pretty interesting. We'll start off in normal, maybe we'll try sport mode later. And you do got a big center console. It's not very deep, but it's still a very big console in here. USB-C, USB-A, and a power outlet. You do have a 10-speaker Bose sound system in this Premier model. But one thing I'm kind of disappointed about is I noticed some features are missing. This trim starts at over $70,000, and you don't get like a panoramic sunroof or anything like that. You also don't get GM's Super Cruise. All that nice stuff is only available in option packages. You need to option in these either the 6.2 liter V8 or the Duramax diesel to get Super Cruise. And you know, once it's all said and done, it's like an extra $10,000. You're looking at like $90,000 for, you know, a Suburban with Super Cruise and the panoramic roof. So it's a little overpriced in my opinion. Kind of annoying they don't just give you those things as standard. But I think we will get this thing out on the road and talk about how it drives. So we're just gonna put it in drive here. This thing, it's like a beast when you first get behind the wheel. This front hood is just giant. Feels like definitely like a huge, substantial SUV. But it's kind of makes up for that because it's just so easy to drive. Don't even have to like think to drive this car. It's super smooth. It does have GM's magnetic ride control, which was first made popular in the Camaro. So I think that aids the handling a little bit. It handles better than you would expect. Much better than previous gen Suburbans that I've driven. For having such a big engine, it's like you don't even hear it, even under harder acceleration. Super quiet, super refined, really smooth. Silky smooth power band. Nice smooth shifting automatic. Brake pedal is nice and solid, nice and heavy when you step on the brakes. Has that really strong bite to it. And they're not super touchy or anything, but they are very smooth. They stop the car really quick, really good. Inspire good confidence. Steering is just so precise. Like I said, you just don't even have to think when you're steering this car. It goes just exactly where you point it. These cars just get better and better. It's pretty impressive. We'll try out the power here. Alright, then you can definitely hear more of the engine when you gun it like that. And it's not exactly what I'd call fast. It's not meant to be. It's kind of interesting when I drive this car. I don't feel acceleration really. Like I don't get that sensation like I'm being pushed back at all. It always kind of feels like you're standing still, even when you're, you know, even when you push the gas pretty hard. You don't like feel that sensation like you're moving. I notice with bigger SUVs, you don't always feel that speed sensation, if that makes sense. Just like I said, I love this like really precise steering it has. It's not like sporty particularly, like it's pretty numb in the steering. You obviously expect that, but I am just impressed with just the maneuverability of it. I mean, even the smallest little inputs, the car just responds exactly as you want it to. The ride in here is also just super smooth, really settled on the road. I've driven other Suburbans in the past from previous generations, and those things were just so bouncy on the road, just like all over the place. This one is nothing like that. It's so settled, it's so smooth. Glides right over bumps. It feels like flat on the road, but just very smooth over bumps. Just like no disturbance at all. The gas pedal is nice and heavy. Not particularly responsive, not like lightning quick. But I like the heft it has. You kind of have to like shove it a little to get it to move, which I kind of like. It's not one of those really loose gas pedals where, you know, you just tap it and it goes. 10-speed auto, you know, I did complain about the 10-speed auto in other GM cars. I'm pretty impressed with it here. It actually seems to work really well. I haven't run into any issues with it. It's very smooth, picks the right gears, pretty snappy, intuitive. Helps the vehicle get up to speed quickly when you need it to. Very nice, refined, modern kind of automatic here. Your rear visibility isn't very good, as I said earlier. Back window is pretty small, and your blind spots are definitely bigger in a vehicle like this. It feels a little daunting making lane changes and stuff like that when you're not used to driving this car. It's not quite like a small car where you can just always tell exactly everything around you. This has some blind spots in it for sure. You sit high up in this thing, even compared to other SUVs, it always feels like you're a little higher up. Give it some more gas here, why not? And yeah, it gets up to speed okay. Like I said, doesn't really wow you, doesn't really shock you or anything, but it's pretty smooth, it's pretty peppy. It's not slow or anything. Going up hills, you know, 10 speed responds nicely. I think we will check out our turning radius. Just kind of want to go a little faster than that guy, so I'll let him get ahead. And I actually am impressed with the turning radius. Again, it's another thing they did better than the previous generation. That's pretty good for a giant SUV like this. I found it's really easy to park for such a big vehicle. As I remember, the previous generation had kind of a bad turning radius, but this one, they definitely improved that. Get back on the road here. Try out some handling. All right, impressive. Not much body roll, to be honest. Steering is nice and consistent through the whole corner. We have some more corners up ahead here. That is not bad at all for a giant SUV. Yeah, that's really good. That's actually pretty fun. I'm sure the magnetic ride plays a role in that. Not all trim levels have the magnetic ride, but I think it definitely makes a difference. Like, this thing hustles through the corners. You would not expect that at all. It feels a little heavy under acceleration. It does feel like you're kind of dragging a big, heavy vehicle. The engine can feel slightly stressed at times. It doesn't like coast really quickly like a small car does. Your turn signal sound is kind of quiet. When you have music on, you can't really hear it, so it's kind of easy to forget your turn signal is on sometimes. It does have that GM switchgear where it's like everything is on one stalk, like your wiper controls, your back wiper controls, your windshield washer, turn signals, high beams, everything on one stalk. Kind of unusual. All right, but we'll take this thing on the highway, see how it does. Impressive handling. Unfortunately, we can't test out the power right now. I don't know why people merge so slowly onto the highway. Test out some passing power. It does pretty good, as you can see. Handles bends on the highway with ease. You would not expect this from a almost 3-ton SUV. Try taking this exit actually here. brake pedal is very firm, very confidence inspiring. Try sport mode actually. Sport mode doesn't change anything significant. It doesn't really feel like a different car at all. Doesn't like hold the revs aggressively high or anything like that. Can't really notice a change in sport mode. Maybe the steering does get a little heavier, but not enough to where I can say for sure. Alright you guys, well I think I'll end the video in here. Pretty sure I talked about everything. This 2023 Suburban. It's a nice SUV to drive. Very big, a little bit daunting at first with this giant front hood and everything. But also just unexpectedly maneuverable for what it is. Really precise steering, really responsive. Interior is lacking some features I'd like to see, especially for over $70,000. I think they could have at least included a panoramic roof. It's a very nice car, but they're just asking a little too much, I think. But I like the screens, I like the layout of everything. I like driving it. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to drive as nice as it does. It handles really well, steers really well, has like a lot of small car handling attributes to it for such a big SUV. But I think we will shut it off and we'll hop out. All right, thanks for watching everyone.